Who doesn't love a good animated movie? The colorful characters, the catchy songs, and the heartwarming stories all come together to create an unforgettable experience. But did you know that some of your favorite animated movies were actually based on books? From classic fairy tales to modern novels, these movies have brought beloved stories to life in a whole new way. In this video, we'll be exploring 10 must-see animated movies that were based on books. Get ready to revisit old favorites and discover some new gems that you may have missed. Number 10. The Bad Guys. This DreamWorks animation animated crime comedy is actually based on a collection of Aaron Blais children's books. The plot revolves around a group of criminals who choose to turn over a new leaf in order to avoid going to jail for their countless misdeeds. To their surprise, they discover that they actually like the compliments they receive as a result of doing good. It almost seems as though doing good makes you feel wonderful, although none of them will likely ever confess it. The animated aesthetic is vibrant and energetic, which is a great approach to adapt the narrative, and the voice actors give their hilarious characters their all. Number 9. Coraline. While not exactly a secret, the cinematic version of Neil Gaiman's Coraline has done an amazing job of bringing the book to life. The plot opens with a family migrating to a new location far from all they are accustomed to, like many coming-of-age films do. Coraline Jones, the protagonist, is understandably furious about this. She spends the most of her time exploring the home and unintentionally enters the other world, which is superior to her own in practically every way. It appears to be, at least. The film expertly satisfies longtime fans as well as introducing new viewers to the fantastical yet endearingly dark horror of Neil Gaiman's work. Number 8. Meet the Robinsons. An underappreciated treasure from the early days of Walt Disney's CGI movie business is Meet the Robinsons. The film, which is loosely based on William Joyce's children's book A Day with Wilbur Robinson, adopts the style and spirit of the book, turning it into a serious yet uplifting lesson on failure rather than just a pleasant trip into the future. Louis, an orphan who was abandoned by his mother 12 years ago, is the subject of the narrative. Since then, he has put a lot of effort into creating something that would allow him to put this incident behind him. Nevertheless, his intentions are slightly disturbed when Wilbur Robinson, a youngster who claims to be from the future, shows there. Number 7. Rise of the Guardians. A type of spiritual sequel to the franchise at that moment, Rise of the Guardians is based on the William Joyce novel series. Rise of the Guardians reimagines folkloric mythological characters that are closely related to particular holidays or ideas. The trip of Jack Frost is the subject of the film. A little bit of an anti-hero, Jack Frost is happy to live his existence as a naughty ice ghost and has no interest in following any norms or customs. He wants to establish himself as a figure in whom people genuinely believe, but he conceals a deep anger. The film does a fantastic job of updating these traditional folktale characters while preserving their whimsical quality for children. Number 6. The Secret of NIMH. It may come as a shock to many fans of this Don Bluth classic to learn that the film is only very loosely based on a Robert C. O'Brien book from the 1970s. A family of mice that lives close to a farm and battles for survival is the subject of the tale. One of the kids, Timothy, is sick one day, delaying their preparations. The family seeks aid from NIMH lab rat escapees on the advice of a mysterious owl. Old-school animation lovers regard this picture, Don Bluth's debut feature, as a cult treasure. The Secret of NIMH establishes the tone for Don Bluth's subsequent solo works. Viewers were aware that Don Bluth's films will feature stunningly beautiful animation as well as more somber plot aspects. These were masterfully produced dark fantasy films that both children and adults could appreciate. Number 5. Howl's Moving Castle. The classic Howl's Moving Castle, which is based on the Diana Wynne Jones novel, is one of the most fanciful stories that Studio Ghibli is known for translating. The story centers on a young lady named Sophie, a hatter who is yearning for a reason to live, and is set in a sort of fantastical version of World War I. She meets the wizard Howl by happenstance, and the envious witch of the waste curses her with the deadliest of all curses, old age. Together with a number of other bizarre creatures like a scarecrow, a fire demon, and a young apprentice named Markle, Sophie, who unexpectedly doesn't mind looking old, tries to reverse the curse. The film was more than capable of bringing its universe to life, even if it couldn't translate all the complex character interactions. Number 4. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, regarded by many as one of the best animated films made by Sony, was adapted from a 1978 novel by Judy Barrett, with illustrations by her then-husband, Ron Barrett. The scene where food is falling from the sky is, of course, the only element of the novel that the movie actually adapts. If not, the premise entirely goes off the tracks. The story takes place in Swallow Falls, where mad scientist Flint Lockwood creates a device that can turn water into any kind of food. Sam Sparks finally gains the respect he has never previously when he reports on this story. The machine quickly becomes unstable, though, and fixing everything becomes a race against time. Because to its highly bizarre graphics and crazy and over-the-top humor, the film is warmly recalled and fully deserves its certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 3. The Iron Giant. The Iron Giant, the first full-length movie directed by Brad Bird, is based on the Ted Hughes' famous short tale The Iron Man. The story takes place in 1957 and centers on Hogarth Hughes, a little boy who discovers a massive iron robot that has fallen from the sky. They become friends, but the military is eager to own the robot for use as a weapon of its own. The Iron Giant is a stunning animated masterwork, and despite its disastrous box office performance, it made up for those losses handsomely through home video sales and television reruns. This film incorporates many of Brad Bird's ideas, including 50s aesthetics and shocking adult topics of socio-economic difficulties. The Iron Giant is a cult favorite because it has a strong anti-war message and emphasizes that you should be free to be who you want to be. Number 2. How to Train Your Dragon. The movie How to Train Your Dragon, which is based on Cressida Cowell's books, does a fantastic job of conveying the same sense of wonder and enchantment as the original works. Although the movie diverges significantly from the novels in terms of plot, it keeps the characters' names and all the amazing dragon species, which is, to be fair, the thing that matters the most to keep. Hiccup, the Viking chief's son who appears to prefer innovations than battle, is the main character of the film. He kills a renowned Night Fury one day, but when he eventually comes across it, he doesn't see a creature. He chooses to assist it instead because he appears to be a fearful and cornered animal. In addition to teaching valuable lessons like not letting convention and intolerance define who you are, How to Train Your Dragon also depicts the realities of being a hero. Number 1. Shrek. Shrek has become a timeless property, and many people are shocked to hear that the multi-million-dollar franchise was based on a children's book that was very different from the movie. The title Shrek's character is given a surprising degree of depth in the film, in contrast to the original novel, which was a comedy about a monster that delighted in being a monster. The main character of Shrek is an ogre who appears pleased with his existence of frightening locals and being generally like a Slavish thug. To remove a lot of fairy tale monsters off his property, he is forced to save a princess. However, he soon discovers that he might not want to be a monster anymore. In addition to being genuinely funny, Shrek is a surprisingly serious film about how much expectations and appearances have a devastating impact on life. Those are the 10 must-see animated movies that were based on books. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, make sure to subscribe to us for more videos and tap the bell icon to get notified with every new video from us. See you in the next video.